Hi, I'm Uwe Rosenberg, and I'm a developer of some games.
Quite a few games.
Quite a few games.
And what is this new one you brought to share with us today?
My new game on the show is Merkator, and it's once again a game like Agricola and La Havre, because there are many of goods in the game. And the camera shows them land too, yes.
Yeah, he'll sometimes scan down to the game, I think, and look at your face too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of a back and forth deal.
Yeah. There are some areas, and every area has two kinds of goods.
Okay.
And everyone has a board, in front of himself, and he collects goods to fulfill contracts. These are contracts like this. And in many games it's so that you fulfill a contract and you give your old contract back and get some things from it. Here it is so that you keep your contract and you get a new contract for fulfilling this. The worth of this card is 6, and you get a card which is worth 7.
Oh, okay, right. So it keeps going on.
Yeah, it's going on, and you get more and more contracts, but the contracts are also coins worth. So when you have 6 or more contracts, then you have to take the money for the contracts and buy some things.
Okay.
You can buy 2 kinds of things for this. One kind is cards like this. This card means when you come to the Dutch Republic, you get more goods. This is a kind of card which is good during the game. And there are other kinds of cards that are good in the end of the game, and these are the building cards. A building card shows you for what you get victory points in the end of the game. These are the 2 kinds of cards you are giving your money for.
Okay.
Now, I come to the move of one player. The move is there are 4 kinds of it, and the first pass is that you give your money. What I tell you yet. The second thing is that you travel.
You travel.
Yeah. And travel is easy. You take this mark and you go there where you want to go to. There are 8 big areas.
Okay.
And in these big areas there are the goods. And in the beginning of the game, in every area, there is 1 good. And when you come to one area, you take all the goods and put it on your plan. And after this, you're seeing some ropes. And the ropes are showing you where new goods are coming to. Here comes a Russia good, a Danzig good, and a Hamburg good.
Okay.
In this way,
because you're following the rope, all right?
No. These are the 3 ropes going from Sweden. Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, perhaps you go to France, you take the goods, and 1 go to Spain, England, and Dutch Republic. That's the rule. And the second thing you make on this place is that you fulfill contracts for France. Then, because these contracts are for Italy, Denmark, and so on. All the contracts for France are interesting for you because you can fulfill them. That's the second thing. And the third thing is fulfill contracts.
Fulfill the contracts.
One rule for this, when you have one good knot, then you can take 4 same
Colored
four,
cubes.
and you can say this is an iron or something like this.
Okay.
This is another way to fulfill it. And now to the most important rule of the game. After I finished my move, every other player can make my move too.
Oh.
When I go to France, he can go to France too.
Nice.
There are no goods there because all the goods are I have to take it. If you have a contract in France, you come with me, and the price you have to pay is some time from me.
Sure.
Time is a second, is a kind of coin in this game. So we are Hamburg merchants of the city of Hamburg, and when we make, when we stay in Hamburg, then we keep time. So we can get 2 time marks. The other extreme example is we travel to Newfoundland. That costs 3 times. It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah. And the other rule for time is when you want to come with me, then you have to give me a coin of time.
But that's nice, you can do the same, go to the same places the other players. Yeah. And it's not a lot of downtime because you can still do what the other player just did.
What that's I nice. want to do with this game.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. So now nearly I finished it. I would like to say that there are 4 areas. They
are slightly smaller squares.
They are smaller, and there are no goods on those places.
Yeah, no goods.
So you only want to travel to Italy, for example, because you have contracts of Italy.
To fulfill in Italy.
Yeah. And the contracts of Italy and Newfoundland and so are easier to fulfill. That's the reason, because you want to, but you get no goods, but it's easier.
Okay.
And now look at the when you want to travel with me. Mm-hmm. Why should I travel to Italy when you come with me and make the same thing?
Do the same thing.
I would not go to Italy then.
Ah.
And so the rule is, and on these places, when you want to come with me, you have to pay 2 time marks for me. 2 less for you, 2 more for me is a difference of 4. That's expensive enough, so that is okay then.
Okay.
And
since it's easier to do that, but you want to make it painful if someone wants to come with you. Yes. Okay.
That's it. And it's so. In the beginning of my move, I asked, I would like to go to Italy. Is there someone who comes with me? So I get my time marks back, and no one wants to come with me to Italy. Okay, then I go other. It's allowed. You don't have to do it. You can do it.
Anyway, but
anyway.
It's nice if you can go there and get some extra time. For a future round.
In the end of the games, you get victory points. Only in the end of the games, and the 2 kinds are the building cards. On this card is a text with the points. After, like you know, in other games, and. In the end, you will have some contracts in front of you.
Right.
During the game, these cards are money. In the end of this game, this card is points.
Victory points.
6 points, 7 points. And in the end of the game, you can have more than 5 contracts, and all the contracts are more than 5 are half worth. Also,
half the points?
Half the points worth.
So the ones that are not on your display that are off?
You can change.
You can switch them?
Yeah, you can switch this. Here are the worth full and here are the not so.
Gotcha.
The less full.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. And some little rules are missing, but this is the game.
That's the basic part of the game. Sounds great. And how, this must be what, like a 2.5 hour game? How long would this be?
There are 2 versions of the game, a short version and a long
version. Oh, nice.
The story is that the long version was really the normal version of the game.
Sure.
In the end, I make a short version for the normal players.
For people who don't have as much time.
But then the short version was a better version.
Oh.
So I changed the complete game, and the short version is a normal game. The normal game is a long version.
Nice.
The difference is in the short.
Sorry, that's okay.
I think it's very important.
So.
I hope that people understand me in the last minutes.
Yes.
The difference of the 2 versions are that in the long version you have only 2 contracts in the beginning, and in the short you have more. You have 4 and. In the short version you have every good. One kind of every good. And a good, in every place there are one cube, it's a green cube. But when you take the cube, you put it on your plan, and then you decide if it is, in this case, livestock or musket. And in the beginning of the short version, you have one green cube, and you can, every time of the game, you can take it and put it on your plan. So you can decide if you want to have a livestock or you want to have a musket. And there are 2 kinds of playing the game. The first kind to play it is you have some contracts at the beginning. And your first moves, you give goods and fulfill, and you have a great start. The other way to play the game is to keep these goods, and you have many possibilities to decide what you want to do with those coins. Both kind of playing the game are a possibility to win the game, and I like this very much.
Yeah.
And only the 3rd version has this.
Right.
And so the short version has been the normal version in the end.
Thank you so much.
It was one of my last ideas. I wrote already the first rules, and then I had this idea.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
The game ends when all the time marks left. You get your time marks on places like Hamburg.
Oh, is that how the game? Oh, so you can see always when it. I love that when you can tell. You know exactly how long the game's going to be.
You see how long it's.
I also love how you don't get the score is all at the end. I love that too because it makes everybody feel like they're in it the whole time. They don't realize maybe how poorly they were doing, or sometimes for people. It makes you feel.
Some things are good and some things are not so good to make the game. So, but I agree with you.
I like with and people not having to count while they're going. Well, you are in your head, but keeping track on a score. But I love doing that all at the end. It's nice. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you that I can come to you.